Hello, and welcome to Heineken's Tech Insights, your podcast from HEINEKEN Kraków. Throughout this podcast, we'll be sharing insights and learnings from some of Heineken's top specialists who are shaping the digital future of Heineken. Join us to meet our experts, gain valuable knowledge, and see how what happens in Kraków goes around the world. I'm Mateusz Komander, your host, and I'm excited to introduce our next series, AI and the Future of Work at HEINEKEN Kraków. Today we are launching the series by exploring the breakneck pace of innovation. In today's discussion, we'll dig into how an agile mindset helps spot game-changing tech, which new tools are already boosting our productivity, and how to separate future-proof breakthroughs from short-lived gimmicks. If you are eager to see how AI is reshaping work right now, stay tuned. And joining me today is Grzegorz Bednarczyk, a Scrum Master here at HEINEKEN Kraków. Grzegorz is also an AI practitioner, helping individuals and teams implement AI in their everyday operations. After hours, as he shared, he is sharing his knowledge and experience on how to prepare organizations for unavoidable changes caused by the AI revolution. Grzegorz, it's great to have you here.
Good to be here.
Happy to see that smile on your face.
Yeah. A very unique opportunity to record the podcast with you. So my pleasure to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Great, pleasure to have you here as well. Okay, so Grzegorz, before we dive into the details, maybe let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me, what exactly happened, or what was the change point, the point in your career that you decided based on that, okay, AI is the future for me and I would like to focus on that area?
Yeah. So I don't want to say that it was by accident, but it might be because I got interested in this topic November 2022. So it was this hype GPT 3.5 release, and it gets really popular these days. And during that time, I was taking part in this development path for Scrum Masters. It was like this initiative that a bunch of Scrum Masters meet together, it was bi-weekly, if I remember right. And during one of those sessions, people were sharing what they are doing extra and so on. And I shared with people, that for some time I got involved in this AI space and trying to figure out what it is all about and so on. And the organizers of this meeting said, hey, maybe you would like to share some experience, your knowledge bites about AI. So I said yes, because it was for me not a problem. And it appeared that they really found it useful, and something, was triggered in me, and I started developing further within this AI space, and then started sharing my knowledge maybe in a more professional manner inside and outside organization.
So I think that at the beginning, AI for many was a little bit around gimmick. Not necessarily everyone knew how to use it.
Yeah.
So I remember some people, including me as well, even today, were using this to make some some funny, let's say, graphics, or maybe to post or create some sort of nice theme or whatever there is. But I assume that you've started already from sort of rather trying to professionalize the AI at that time already.
Yeah, but it took some time, of course, because we need to remember that at the beginning when ChatGPT 3.5 was released, it was kind of a toy rather than a tool, or at least it was perceived like that. And, you could summarize a text, maybe write a blog post, or maybe rephrase a message, or write a lyrics to the song or something like that. So the possibilities were really limited. But it changed quite soon.
Compared to now, compared to what we can do with those tools now, it's completely different. Definitely. And so maybe, let's say, carrying over that, your personal experience, how do you think your experience as a Scrum Master allowed you to shape your ability to keep up with that ability, with the changes, with the innovation and the shifts towards AI?
Yeah. So I think it was kind of natural because as we Scrum Master, we are working, so we get paid. We are accountable for making stuff more effective, bringing agility to teams, to organization, and so on. And it seemed for me like a natural consequence because suddenly I noticed that it could be a tool that can scale the effectiveness of the individuals, but teams as well. And on the top of that, what at least is currently going on, we can even remove some systemic impediments with the technology. And of course, if we have this technology, and this security is a totally different story, maybe we will discuss about it later. Yeah?
Sure. And then, so could you maybe give an example how you yourself started using the AI in practice? Like, was it rather to help you with some sort of daily tasks, on some sort of summaries, retrospectives? Where was the first adoption created or done by yourself to where you started working with AI?
Yeah, so maybe we'll focus here about the organization, because the early days it was GPT, but here in Heineken we have access, among others, to Copilot 365, and one of the main functionalities that I use and I found crazy effective for me, useful, was to quickly find pieces of information, because along the day multiple times I need to find piece of information, what this acronym means, where I saved this link, or maybe somebody shared a deadline in the chat and I simply have forgotten to save it somewhere, or maybe half a year ago I had a call with a vendor, I don't remember the names, I don't remember the company, but I have vague understanding what was the context. And such a tool, this simple use can find me information in seconds, and it used to take even minutes to find. Multiply it by number of occurrences like that, it could really make a difference. And of course, it's one of many, many use cases.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the nicest approaches that at the moment, I think there is even an existing prompt that when you are back from out of office, is automatically one-click summarize whatever I've missed. Yeah, so you can have like very like brief summary of whatever is important for you and your role after you're back for longer leave, after you longer leave.
Yeah, but maybe I will add immediately here that because we only mentioned about a very simple usage of this technology, and not to give impression people listening that, it's okay, maybe it's nice, but it's not revolutionary. Another nice usage of this tool is explaining different concepts that might be not that easy to grasp in the first place. So myself working all my professional path in IT, there is multiple IT terms, different architectural concepts and so on. You can use this technology to simply explain what this piece of technology is, what this term is, and so on. You don't have to go ask people. Your confidence increases.
Yeah, I think the more you use it, the more you are able to recognize what the possibilities are. So definitely what you mentioned, I think we'll be building upon that. So I think it's good to start from about the gimmicking part of AI at the beginning maybe, but then definitely as we'll progress in different podcasts, in the following podcasts, definitely let's elaborate a little bit on possibilities, not only for you personally, but also on team level.
Absolutely.
But then actually getting back into what you mentioned about the ChatGPT 3.5, that it was at the beginning a little bit like people didn't necessarily know how to use it. It was a little bit of new stuff, like something gimmicky, really.
And who remembers right now GPT 3.5, even GPT-4? Nobody cares right now. Nobody remembers GPT-4, and people claimed for a long time that GPT-4 will be, let's say, long-lasting model and nothing better will pop up for months. Look at what's happening now.
Exactly, like the development of those models is so rapid. But then maybe looking back into that, so what was the one specific, or maybe there was some specific situation that you occurred, or maybe not, or maybe in general some knowledge that you've gained, what showed you that the AI is a game changer long term rather than a temporary, like something that we are like very nice, that's nice having at the moment, or something that's sort of interesting but will fade away?
So I can think about three things that at least persuaded me that it is a serious topic to focus on. So from one side, money that was and is pumped into this whole sector, because when you look at the investment rate into this technology, it's not without purpose. Yeah? People investing money, they want to get their reward from it.
Yeah.
So it will naturally become better and better simply because, the money is pumped into this sector. The second aspect that persuaded me was observing those early adopters. So this is so innovative that if you want to be on this innovative edge, usually you observe different people in the internet, on X, on YouTube that try to do things with that. And when you observe it's possible because you see the results they do, they achieve, you see how they did it, it's very persuasive. And as a consequence, this third aspect that persuaded me is when you yourself can do stuff that you were not able to do in the past because of lack of time, lack of skills, lack of funds, lack of connections, and so on. And suddenly you can do it in matters of days or even hours. And this is really, really persuasive for me that it's not a joke.
That's true. That's right. I think the AI changed or upskilled in an instance many people.
Yeah.
I think at some level, I think maybe in IT it was a little bit more visible at some level, but I don't know how much that's true. But I saw, or I think that some of the recruitments sometimes happened that people were using actively ChatGPT during the recruitment process. I don't know, I think many people are even making, I saw, I think, few shorts around that one person have like an interview and on a phone a ChatGPT providing answers to the questions of an interviewer. Again, I don't know how real this was, but it showed how you actually could use the ChatGPT.
Yeah. And it's even more serious than that. I don't want to go this maybe path because it's a side comment to that, but another problem in this whole recruitment HR space is that you can install on your computer this software that is based on AI that corrects your eyeballs. So even if you are, turning your head and reading something from your notes or another screen, for a person on the other side of the screen, it seems that you are looking all the time
directly into the camera.
All the tests, even ourselves being in this agile space, probably you experienced that when you wanted to take a certificate, you had like 30 minutes and you need to select 1 or 4 answers. It's right now, it seems doesn't make any sense because what people do, they or take the screenshots and ask AI to give the answers, or even right now the technology allows you to
screen capture.
Yeah, I mean, even, share the screen with AI and you don't have to even copy paste. AI is just giving you verbally the answer C, D, E, and you pass the test. So
it's like, I think at some point or at some level there will be a very, in the face of HR, it will be very hard to start looking and verifying the actual capabilities of a person.
Yeah. So maybe, interviews in person.
This will come back into the reality. Okay, but now maybe let's zoom in a little bit into Heineken specifics. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for bringing up your own experience. That's great, great to see from where you started. But now looking maybe a little bit more into Heineken itself, do you think, or could you, now let's exclude also the Microsoft 365, the Copilot that we are using. Do you see any like AI tools or technologies that we are all using already that are changing how our teams works? And I think you actually have one specific example even presented about the Copilot in GitHub, how it changed the coding.
So there is a tool, GitHub Copilot, that developers could use, and it definitely, at least in my opinion, what I know, what I observe, and based on discussion with different colleagues in Heineken, it's really can change the way you develop, and it definitely accelerates how we do it. But however, vast majority of people do not use GitHub Copilot because it's not the tool for them, because GitHub Copilot is for developers. However, you can even code these days without knowing how to code. But vast majority of people use Copilot 365, and I already mentioned a few use cases, and I believe that we are just before this significant jump of effectiveness, because right now, if you observe how people use Copilot, they use for a lot of different everyday activities. So I mentioned, that very quickly search for information. They use it to understand different processes. Notes taking during the meetings is like a very, very used functionality, and it's great because it's not perfect, but it can do 60-80% of work and many, many more use cases. However, when I see the revolution really happening is when we have those agents that can really be a proactive and reactive assistants for us. So imagine that you have a team, you work in a team, and imagine that you have an assistant or agent, if you wish, that is instructed in a way that can support your team with different kind of questions, suggestions, or reminders. So imagine that you are having a meeting that is happening on Monday, and there is a transcript from this meeting. Another meeting is happening on Wednesday, and such a tool could identify the misalignments and ask you, hey, is it really?
Very interesting point of view, actually. I didn't thought about that usage yet, but this is very nice, actually, eye opener for me. So recently with my team, actually, I was showing them how they can leverage the even the Copilot during the call to start actually prompting the Copilot already to look for blind spots, like what are the informations important for me to get this and that, and Copilot can already give you the 3 or 2 questions or whatever you will ask that you should ask the participants during the call, so that you could actually move forward, and don't leave the meeting without the knowledge that, or without the scope that might be important for you.
And there is as well like the Copilot Studio, when you can, something similar to custom GPTs, when you can start exploring building your custom GPTs, and you can put there some extra knowledge that maybe Copilot itself does not have access to. So you can build your assistant that can be very, very supportive in different aspects of your everyday activity. And there is like even this section with actions. So this is the introduction to the agents, because imagine that this is interesting maybe aspect. We were doing the experiment how Copilot could improve the onboarding process. And it was quite promising how the satisfaction and speed of onboarding differ between people that had access to the Copilot and we gave them basic training versus people that didn't. And imagine that in the future you are getting onboarded in the organization and you are taken by hand and go step by step by an agent that is explaining you different nitty-gritty details and says, you know what, your colleagues on this position has access to this system or has this license. Do you want it?
Do you want to request that?
And you say yes. And the step further is the agent or assistant asks, shall I do it for you? So it seems that with time we will be taking more hands, away from the keyboard. And the possibilities would be difficult to say where it ends, especially even when you have those. Not sure if you have used AI Google Studio.
I haven't used the AI Google Studio. I'm using Gemini quite extensively. And if you are referring specifically to the agents, like build agents, I'm using actually or trying now experiment with Power Apps with what we are available for us internally, and I'm experimenting with Make. This is sort of. Because they have some sort of free plan where you can actually integrate quite a lot of different tools.
Sure. And why I was referring to that, because in AI Google Studio you can experiment how the assistant or model, AI, can assist you on the fly. You can share the screen and you can work. And the moment you got stuck, AI can support you with making the right decision, finding the right functionality, the right option, and so on. And imagine how many times when people process different things, they get stuck. And they need to go to SOP, to the procedure to understand, what I need to click, what I need to fill in, let's say, what currency whatsoever. And it times, or I need to go and ask my colleague that might be busy right now. And already people use Copilot to find quickly those pieces of information, how to get unstuck. But imagine even step further, that you don't have to do it. You instantly receive the voice recommendation or pointing on the screen, click here.
Exactly. Like this may be quite a game changer for many functions, like not only in AI, because actually like the business procedural standard operating, like the general operating procedures around business or any other function will be impacted by that. And I think this is quite a change here. Okay, so Grzegorz, quite an insights to the, let's say, first steps into AI world, not only about your own experience, but also a little bit of how we are currently using it or trying to use or leverage the AI tools within HEINEKEN Kraków itself. And so, if you could leave our listeners with just maybe one key learning that you think they should pick up, maybe from your history or from what you've shared today, what would be there? What do you think is most important for them regarding the AI transformation in general?
Yeah, so start using it.
Start
using it and try to implement in various aspects of life, experiment and so on, because although it might not be successful this month, it might be successful already a week later, because the speed of development is so rapid. So start using it if you haven't started yet.
Okay, thank you.
See you next week. See you next time.
To stay connected, be sure to subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and follow HEINEKEN Global Shared Services on LinkedIn. And remember, here at HEINEKEN, we are always looking for rising stars who are ready to make an impact. If you are interested in joining us, you can explore our open positions at heinekenkraków.pl. We'll be back with more insights from HEINEKEN's Agile and digital transformation journey, showing how what happens in Kraków goes around the world. Join us next time to keep learning, growing, and adapting.